Good evening. I want to welcome everyone here to Harper Woods High School. My name is Davion Weatherspoon. I am a senior student athlete, and it is an honor to be here with you all. I want to give a special thanks to our devoted superintendents, Mr. Stephen McGee, and our Vigilant School Board members, and lastly, the superior leadership from our principals, Ms. Wilhelms and Mr. Hancock. I also want to extend a special welcome to our guests, Lizzo, Lieutenant Governor Kilgris, and Caprice Jackson. Our community is very excited and honored to have you here with us tonight. Ms. Jackson, please take it away.
Change your life, you can have it all, no sacrifice.
What's up, y'all?
We can make it right.
I heard y'all got a homecoming game tonight, or a homecoming. Y'all excited? Yeah? Take this mask off.
Oh, sorry. Oh, God.
No, it's quite all right. It's quite all right. Well, good evening, everyone. I am so happy that you all are here. We are so happy to have Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist as well as Lizzo. So can we give another round of applause for Lizzo? So we're going to have a few questions that we want to ask the Lieutenant Governor and ask Lizzo. I also want to get a few questions from the audience as well. But my first question is to Lizzo.
Wait. Okay.
No problem. Take your time.
No, I'm ready. I'm just kidding.
Okay. You had to get your math together. I understand. So our first question for you is, how do you feel political activism is different being a Black woman?
Well, I'll say this. Black women have been the heartbeat of every movement, from Sojourner Truth to the Black women leading the Black Lives Matter movement. We are at the bottom of the privileged totem pole, though. But yet we always raise our voices first to defend people and their rights. It's a unique place to be. It's a unique perspective, but I'm so proud to be a Black woman and an activist, because when I'm loud, they hear this mouth.
Say that.
Period. Baby.
Yes, I totally agree. Well, thank you for that. Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, my question for you is, at what point did you feel that it was important for Black youth to be engaged in politics?
First of all, this is exciting to be here, y'all. This is an important moment in the biggest year of all of our lives. So I just want to thank you for putting this together, Caprice. Thank you, Lizzo. This is so dope to be here with you at Harper Woods. It's always important for young Black people to show up. Because the truth is, while she talked about Black women being the heartbeat of a movement, when you think about every movement for justice and rights in the history of this country, and frankly, across the world, they are always led by young people. Like, the soul of our values always comes from young people. Young people we have just like the moral authority to talk about what's wrong today and what can be right tomorrow. So in this election, I'm excited because more young people are going to vote in Michigan than have ever voted before in our state. It's easier to vote this year. It's easier to register to vote than it ever has been. And I found it inspiring. You know, as a kid, I'm from the east side of Detroit. I'm excited, no doubt. And I'm inspired by the number of young people who not only are going to vote this year, but who've been active and engaged in this generational way. We've been calling for racial justice, economic justice, an end to police brutality, and an understanding of our humanity. And so the actions of young people have inspired me to be a better public servant. And I think it's making our communities across the state and across the country stronger.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Now, at this point, I do have, I do want to ask the audience if you guys have any questions for either Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist or for Lizzo. So do we have any takers? Let's not all speak at once.
You guys shy?
Okay. All right, I have one. Is this my second one? Go ahead. All right. You'll be right over at the microphone to your right.
Come on, outfit. I like that vest or what is it? The jacket with the vote shirt and the vote
I love
bandana.
it.
This is a little tall. Sorry. So my question for you all is, what do you intend, or what is your voting pitch for undecided voters?
I mean, I can go first. They want to hear from you, though, but I'll go first. So if you're somebody who, it's two types of undecided voters this year. There's the people who don't know whether they're going to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris or whether they're going to vote for Trump. And then there's people who don't know if they're going to vote at all this year. I'm going to be blunt. I think the choice between Trump and Biden is the clearest choice we've ever had in a general election. You have somebody who literally ignores the death of thousands of black people in the midst of this pandemic, 23 of them in my life, versus somebody who has a plan to not only care about our lives and our health care, but to actually invest in our community. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris got the most progressive agenda when it comes to racial equity that anybody has ever had a chance to vote for in November. You know that? When we're talking about pathways for free college at HBCUs, free college at public universities for any household earning $125,000 or less, investing in the ideas that all of y'all have when wanting to be entrepreneurs and incubator programs for all of us. It's really inspiring. So I think the choice for Vice President Biden is really clear. But the one I'm really worried about are people who may not vote. That undecided voter who has not decided to vote. And what I would say to them is that I believe that every person in this gym, every person in our nation, every person in our communities is powerful. You can influence the present and the future. But the thing is, if you don't vote, you're passing up an opportunity to show the world how powerful you are. And I think if you listen to Lizzo's music, for example, you hear that like power needs to always be felt. It needs to always be heard. And so I would challenge anybody who hasn't decided to vote to think about whether they've decided if they're a powerful person or not. And I believe they are. That's my pitch to them.
You got me wanting to vote. Can I vote right now? No, I'm with you. I just think about all of the people who fought so hard for the right to vote. When I think about that, I think about the people who lost their lives, the people who were thrown in jail, the people who were attacked by dogs and sprayed with water hoses because of this privilege that we have in 11 days to just vote. I don't ever want to take it for granted. And I think we're a new generation. The younger generation, I don't really think in terms of red or blue. I'm going to be honest with you. I think in terms of right and wrong. I think in terms of how do I feel with this person who's managing the country? Do I feel good about it or do I feel bad about it? Really just think about that and realize you have the power to change that. If you don't like how things are going, guess what? You can vote that person out and we can have an opportunity to try something new to actually bring change. That would be my pitch to you. Just do it. People have fought so hard for you to have the opportunity. Why not do it? You know?
Thank you. I think we have another question from the audience.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you all are having fun in Michigan. So why do you feel like this election is so important to vote, particularly this one?
Why isn't it? You know what I mean? You think about 2020, it's a unanimous thing. Everyone on all sides look at 2020 as one of the hardest years we've ever experienced globally and as a country. And a lot of that has stemmed from the way the current administration has handled our lives, policies, laws, the care and the lack thereof of them. And I think all of this is kind of mounting. Everything, every protest you went to, every march you participated in, every social media post that you've done, every tear you've cried for someone who's lost a life, take that to the ballot box. This is our time to actually, when you're sitting at home and you're like, I just wish they would hear me. I wish they knew what I thought. I wish they could hear my voice. This is the time to do that. Your vote is literally your political voice. Period. I'm gonna start saying that at the end so y'all can clap. And that's on period.
Period.
When you talking about the stakes, we're gonna do a little audience participation. Okay. All right. So how many of y'all know somebody who got coronavirus? How many of y'all know somebody who died from coronavirus? How many of y'all know somebody who either lost their job or they got their hours cut because where they worked had to shut down or slow down? So basically everybody in here either themselves or know somebody who has been directly, negatively impacted by the biggest presidential failure in 100 years, okay? And the reason that happened is because, straight up, like the president didn't take it seriously, right? So for me, what's at stake is the seriousness of the questions I just asked you. I don't want another person to get coronavirus. I don't want to know, look, I got a cousin that went to the hospital with coronavirus last week, okay? I don't want another person to pass away. I don't want another person, particularly another black person, to have to get their hours cut like 40% of people in Detroit happen. I don't want another black-owned business to have to close its doors and potentially not reopen. That's about today. And if we make a choice to vote tomorrow, which you can in Michigan, you can go vote tomorrow. And if we do that, we are voting for a better tomorrow. We can vote tomorrow for a better tomorrow, for a chance at success and a chance to pursue our happiness. The stakes are so high. And yeah, we have some serious long-term things to think about and to vote for. And I think that Vice President Biden, I think that Senator Kamala Harris, they actually care enough to work with us to put in place plans to make those things happen. That's what's at stake. That's why this election is so important.
That boy good. That boy good.
And that's on period as well.
That is on period.
Yes. Now, Lizzo, I do have a question for you.
Oh my God.
How can you use your platform, and why do you think it's important to use your platform when it comes to this election?
How, you mean in general, like how can one or me specifically?
You.
Oh, me. Hey, girl. Well, it wasn't difficult for me to make that decision. When I see something, I have to say something. And God gave me this platform for a reason. It's not just to stand up here and look pretty and sing. Like, I care about things and I want to make a change. So if I can lift people up, I'm specifically all about lifting people up. I'm here today not because of me. I'm here today to shine a light on people like y'all, the young 18-year-olds who are actually invested in voting, invested in politics, and are invested in making a change. People like you. And you amazing. You can you come? I want to hear you talk all the time because you really know you could talk that talk. I'm here to highlight y'all. That's why God gave me this platform. God gave me this light to shine on people so that they can shine, so the world can see them shine, because everybody in here is a star. You're a star for this country. You're a leader for this country. And I'm here as a testimony to you that if I can be here right now, you can do anything, period. I don't know why I went there, Jesus.
Hey,
Period.
Can I say something on that real quick? Because look, this is an example of somebody who is not selfish with their leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying you want to come here because people pay attention to you and you want them to pay attention to everybody else. That's really inspiring. And I would just say that everybody has a platform. Hers is real big, right? But everybody has a platform that I think that we have a responsibility to use. And so I would just ask, if not challenge y'all, there are people you can influence. Like all of us. Is somebody that we have saved in our phone who like needs to hear from you about why they need to vote, why they don't need to be an undecided voter, right? you can motivate them. You can inspire them. Use your platform to do that.
So I think you went into my next question, and this was to you, Lieutenant Governor. I really just wanted to know, how will you, or how do you get your friends and your family involved to vote? I mean, I'm more than sure the Gilchrist family is all ready to vote, but how do we get other people involved as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with just like talking about what's real. Like I'm a engineer, like I'm a problem solver by training. I believe in talking about things in a really practical way. And so voting is an active participation in leadership. And so the talk I'm having with my family members or those who are just turning 18 and my family, et cetera, is just like, do you want to have a seat at the table of decision making? Like, most people don't want things to happen to them. They want to make things happen. Like non-voters, like things happen to non-voters, but voters make things happen. Voters decide who is in leadership. Voters decide what policies get implemented. And so the challenge that I put to people is just like, you know, do you want something to happen to you? You want to make something happen. And that usually works.
Well, that wrapped up my last question. Lizzo, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist, I thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. Actually, you know what? I have one more question, and then I'll get to my speech. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you for your time. My question is, and you've addressed a couple of my concerns, but how do you address voter apathy amongst the beleaguered who have continuously supported the Democratic Party and may be socially liberal but fiscally conservative? I feel like a lot of posturing is going on in these debates and what have you, but there's no tangible solutions being offered. And if there are, which are some, how can we ensure that they will be enacted on our behalf, speaking as a black voter who's never voted Democratic?
You can go ahead, Lieutenant Governor.
All right. So I appreciate that question. There's a lot of people, especially it's a lot of black men who have this question. And this is something that I care really deeply about, not just because I'm a black man. Let's be really real. So let's look at COVID-19. This is something that's hit black people harder than it's hit any other community in Michigan. We make up 14% of the population, and in April and March, we were 41% of people who died. Okay? That's real. Every week, every day, you get a text message, somebody passed away. So the question is, what can people in leadership do to respond to something immediate like that? For people dying every single day. So in Michigan, we have Democratic leadership. Our governor, Gretchen Whitmer, who's fantastic, just in case y'all ain't know. So, and I'm her lieutenant governor, her partner. We also have a black woman named Jonette Caldoun, who's our chief medical executive. We got the most diverse leadership team in the country that is leading our coronavirus response. And because of that, we actually prioritize as a state responding to the needs of black people and communities of color in this pandemic in a way no other state has. What does that mean? We have made sure that testing has gotten to black communities. President Donald Trump decided not to do that actively. They didn't want people to get tested, which is the front door to treatment. President Donald Trump designed a program to help small businesses, 40% of black businesses that have had to close during this pandemic, but that they couldn't access. They couldn't access because they didn't have a banking relationship. How many black businesses do you know that didn't start with a bank loan? But that was the way you got black business. But in Michigan, because we Democrats approach things differently, we set up grant programs that were designed specifically to help those smallest businesses. Because I don't know about you, like my barbershop didn't have a bank loan, but he got a grant from the state of Michigan to be able to make something happen and work. We made that testing available. We made financial support available. We also provided for the people who've been working this whole pandemic, bus drivers, people working at the grocery store, nurses, utility workers. Those are more likely to be people of color and more likely to be black people in Southeast Michigan and Metro Detroit. So we said that not only should they get extra hazard pay for being frontline workers, but we also said thank you and are the only state in the country that said, because you've been working every day, We're going to give you a tuition-free pathway to continue your education. Training, job training, certification, community college, or the beginning of a 4-year degree. That's what Democrats do for people. What do Republicans do for people? They wait for them to die. That's the difference. And that's what we see, and that's what we will see when we're talking about a President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, not a President Donald Trump and a Vice President Mike Pence, who was in charge of the national coronavirus response that has been the biggest failure on the globe. That's the difference, and that's what we're going to do.
Let's give it up for that great response. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. That did wrap up our questions for our panel. I want to thank the audience for the questions you all asked. Those were great questions. Again, Lizzo, Lieutenant Governor, I thank you so much. And I just want to let you all have the opportunity to give closing thoughts. So, Lizzo, you first.
I'm going to go first because I know he's going to say something incredible, so let me just... all of you here today, I'm so in awe of you. When I was your age and I was in school, I didn't feel like my political voice mattered. I didn't even really know where to begin. And the fact that you're here tonight, and I can see on your faces how passionate you are, how much you actually care, and you just want to see some change. Thinking about 2001 to now, being an American citizen has been traumatic. And we just want to see good times. We just want the trauma to end. And I can tell y'all, like, when will it end? I just want things to be okay. I just want equal rights. I just want to feel like I can live in a country that sees me and has laws that protect me, not kill me, not hurt me, not throw me in jail, you know, not condemn me. So I just want to say that you guys are literally the future. I know it sounds so cliche, but cliches are cliche because they're the truth. You are the future. You are going to be up here. So I just want to say thank you for your initiative, and I'm so inspired by y'all, and I'm only here to shine a light on y'all, and y'all teach me how to be a better activist and a better artist to the world. So thank you so much for having me tonight. Period.
I think she covered it. I mean, I'm just excited to see the leadership that y'all bring into the world. And it starts this year, and it has no limits. And so I'm excited to see what y'all do. So let's go do it big, like real big. All right.
Thank you so much. Can we get another, thank you, round of applause for Lizzo and Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist.
And make some noise for yourselves. I know